Hi everybody, I'm Bubba here with Korg USA. We're distributing Waldorf in the United States now. This is a big new thing. And as part of that, we're at the NAMM 2018 show with the Waldorf Quantum, which is one bad synthesizer. This is the synthesizer, the flagship to end all flagships right now. We've got, on the front panel, 3 ADSR envelopes, 3 sets of controls for effects. We've got controls for a complex modulator. We've got a digital former that's gonna kind of glue together all your sounds. We've got dual analog filters. We've got this giant touchscreen that's able to do so much and gives you so much control and gives you access to the 40 position modulation matrix. We've got our 3 oscillators, which I'll get into detail with in a second because those are truly something else. And we've got 3 sets of LFO controls on the panel. In addition, in software, there's another 3 LFOs and another 3 envelopes. They're always available, and always available for you to patch into any of those 40 points on the modulation matrix. There's also another 2 sets of effects. So there's 5 effects total per layer. There's 2 layers of multi-timbrality. We've got glide. We've got a little mixer for our oscillators, and that's really the quick version. And the first thing we should go into in terms of details is the oscillators, because the oscillators have a lot of really interesting quirks and features that I was talking to the designers a little bit earlier, and they were saying that they spend a lot of time choosing and parameterizing what they've given us on the Quantum. So we've got first kind of synthesis, our first algorithm is the wavetable. And being a Waldorf product, this is descendant of our PPG wavetables and our Waldorf waves, all the things that we've come to know and love and wish that we could afford from Waldorf. And we've got those wavetables. We've got an engine descendant of those. On our giant, lovely touchscreen, you can see things like where you're at in your wavetable scanning. And you can see what your wavetable is, and you can select your wavetables on a giant screen that is dynamic and active and colorful and beautiful. And so with each of these different synthesizer algorithms and synthesis algorithms, there's a set of 5 knobs that change function per algorithm. And then there's fine tune and a coarse tune. So with each of these, as you play around with it, you'll see how they react and how they react differently. So that was the wavetable. You can create your own wavetables by feeding into the audio input. The next one it's called waveform, and these are your basic subtractive waves. Your sine, square, saw, all those things, your analog style noise. And again, there's a lot of options for shaping them. To give you an example, the sawtooth wave, if you turn the warp function to one side, it turns into a square wave, and it'll morph into a square wave, and if you morph it to the other side, it'll fold in on itself until it's actually producing an octave up wave. It'll rectify full rectification of the lower portion, and you'll get a really nice octave up. And you can morph into that, and you can modulate that, again, with any of the 40 points in the modulation matrix. Third synthesis engine is called Particle, and Particle gives you granular effects, granular synthesis, and sample-based synthesis. Again, you can load from an SD card, or you can load from the audio inputs. And our last one is a Cart+ Strong style filtered noise Resonator. And that one is really fun because these are things that have always been really difficult to find in a keyboard, and now they're here, and they're here with a great interface, with a dedicated interface. One thing you'll notice if you look at it real close is every single thing that you can do has some kind of effect. You can see what you're doing. Like right now, I'm changing some different parameters of the Resonator, and so you're getting these gorgeous visualizations of what the knob turning is. Same thing, you can get it again with the envelopes. The envelopes also look really, really great. So you can just draw your envelopes and see exactly what you're gonna hear, which is another really lovely thing that the Quantum gives you in this. And That's really all of the main talky stuff. Let's get some sounds. So the first thing we're going to show off in the sounds is a preset that's called PPG Runner. So obviously we're dealing with a synthesizer that's descendant of our PPG Wavetable forefathers, and keeping in with that, there's one oscillator is a Wavetable is set to be Wavetables. The other is, and if we want to zoom in, it looks like this here, little waveform, this little wavetable. And then we've got, for oscillator 2, we've got a nice little shaped sine wave. And for oscillator 3, we've got a pretty clean sawtooth wave. And then there's going to be all kinds of other things on it, which you're going to hear now. So as you can see, that's a really gorgeous, just beautiful sound that is very sonorous and very warm when it needs to be. Got all the good stuff, all the stuff that we look for in our synth patches, just there. So we're gonna move on to something a little bit different now. This patch is called Red Resonator 2, and it uses all 3 of our oscillators in resonator mode. So this one has a lot of more bell tones and more kind of noisy things, but you're gonna hear it. All right, now we're gonna move on. We're gonna see if we can get something with some good sampling or some good granular action, which has been a really popular thing at the show. Everybody's really excited that they've got the ability now with this synth, once it's available, to do some really great, deep, granular, sample-based synthesis. So let's see what that sounds like. So this one is a single oscillator, and it's called Marimba, and it's gonna sound like this. So there we go. While that resonates out, that's a little bit of each. And that's the Waldorf Quantum. You can find more information about it at Waldorf's website, or you can contact us at korgusa.com, and we'll see you using it real soon, I hope.